Hello everyone, this is another situation where I will be reviewing multiple sets in one video. Specifically, these are two 2019 LEGO City sets. This is the Diving Yacht set over here. We'll look at that second in this video. And from the Fire sub-theme, this one is Dockside Fire, which includes a small fire boat. The premise with Dockside Fire here is that there is a fuel canister fire on the dock over on the right, and the fireboat needs to come up and shoot that with its water cannon on the front. Now, this small fireboat is able to actually float because it is built on the smallest of modern LEGO unitary hulls. So this is fully sealed up, and it doesn't require any building for the base of it. You just add a very limited number of pieces really onto the top of it and into the little depressed area in there, a little fairly large indentation for the size of the thing. So this is able to float on water. You got a little propeller back here suggested by a small gear outboard motor, so this can be brought up. There's a console there and a steering wheel for the pilot of this boat, the driver of this boat. A couple of simulated lights on the sides. This uses the light yellow color for the accent. A couple of stickers there as well, one for either side. And then at the front is the business. That's the 3-tile shooter, new for 2019. You may have seen that on some other sets by now. Unfortunately, this is not able to turn from side to side to represent a real proper remote firefighting monitor. It's only able to be angled up and down, and it's not able to be angled up very much even. This is the trigger mechanism that you as a huge figure come in and squeeze with your huge figure fingers, and you can see the little water representing tiles in there. If you're careful with this, you can fire off just one thing at a time, but the better way to use it generally for better efficiency and more guaranteed success is to push it in all the way, fire off all 3 of those tiles at once. Ah, no, it didn't work. Oh, it's because I only fired off 2 of them at once by accident. But yeah, the idea is that you're supposed to come up really close to the dock, unfortunately, since you're not able to really arc your shot. And I'll give this another try. Ah, still didn't work. So I've got it lined up just right. I'm going to try to push this as quickly as I reasonably can without just throwing everything all over the place. Still not good enough, and I wasn't able to get that 3rd tile to come out. Now, I already knew before coming to this review that I had a problem with this from a play value perspective because it couldn't be turned. You can't just go by and do a little drive-by watering of the dock. But this is an interesting issue. It's not even as good as I thought. This is really close to get to the fire. Ideally, I would want to be able to stand off from the shore a bit and still hit it. But the problem is that it's difficult to get your finger behind the trigger mechanism because of the windscreen. So I'll try it again. Again, just really, really close. I'm not able to get a good... There we go. It's not able to get a good wind up on that trigger. See, it almost comes out to the windscreen itself. And depending upon the angle, it'll actually hit it. So ideally, what you might want to do is just mount this a little bit farther forward. That works so much better. I get so much more control. The dock build here is small, but I think it does its job just fine. It definitely looks like what it's supposed to be, and you get a little bit of play value there with the ability to think about going down into the water. If you have a diving team, they give you a hand truck as well to move these canisters around. And I also like that sign, which makes sense, especially if you're going to hook this up to a city and you have cars driving around. There's how it looks from the back, and with those Technic bricks at either end, it's very easy to connect this to other things with just a Technic pin or 2. Here are the 2 figures up close. The firefighter is very, very bright for high visibility. That's not the regular yellow color. It's the school bus yellow or flame yellowish orange color, while the dock worker has the olive colored legs to let you know that he's not worried about fashion right now. He's just trying to get some work done. And there's the torso print for the firefighter beneath the personal flotation device, and that looks pretty good to me. These are the spare parts, so few that they're almost not worth mentioning, but at least they do have a couple of those extra water tiles for when you inevitably lose some. The diving yacht set here comes with a lot more stuff and especially has more accessories for the figures. This set also has a boat with a floating hull. So you can take this into a small pool, or better yet, into a bathtub. So if you accidentally knock a piece off or have some accessories or figures that fall off, you don't have to worry about diving after them to get to them. The boat goes together pretty quickly, especially with the help of the very large windscreen piece there. And, there's not a lot that's really built up here. A lot of the interior space is not particularly well detailed, but I think it looks pretty good, and it looks unique. It doesn't look like other boats that they've done before, at least in my opinion. You have a sun deck up front, so plenty of space to put some equipment or just to hang out there if you want. A little searchlight on the front, various antennae up top, and also the boomerang in white is a nice touch, works really well for that spot. This simulates storage back here, but you can't actually lift that up. It's all just solid inside, but at least there's seating space there, which is good. And this one doesn't have any simulated propeller or anything. Nothing that hangs down, because this wouldn't have an outboard motor. It would just be an inboard setup, and they didn't try to simulate that, which I think is okay. This I like very much, the fact that the cabin comes up as an entire sub-assembly. You don't actually build this separately. You build just part of the roof of it separately, attach that on, and then once it's all done, then you can lift all this together. So there you see how the interior is fairly Spartan, but they've got the bed at the front, so you can, again, relax there. Nice sticker is included inside. I think those instruments probably would have been better served a little bit closer to the control area, but I'm okay with it. You can always customize it pretty easily. That is a modified tile with the 4 studs on top in medium blue. I don't think I personally have seen that in that color before. It doesn't mean it hasn't been done in that color before. The console there in the front, just by the wheel, is a printed piece we've seen before, and that's pretty much it for this one. Got a sticker there on this side, sticker on the stern, and yeah, again, overall fairly simple build, but effective, kind of sleek, and gives you plenty of room to do stuff. I find this very small underwater scene to be perfectly satisfactory. There's a little bit of underwater foliage suggested there, some algae growths, a nice Ninjago movie colored little light blue fish that's down low, and you also get this sawfish here that's able to rotate around. You can mount it on anything with a stud or a bar end on it, so that's nice. This opens and closes, and you have a little treasure chest, which is what your divers are trying to find, and inside of that you will just find a single gem. It's just a red one, which is fine. It's fine. I'm going to put this guy over here instead, so he's kind of guarding the chest a little bit more. Here are some of the smaller things with the flame yellowish orange colored crab there. You also get a snack in the form of a watermelon slice, and there's is that a can of fresh water? Is that what that's supposed to represent? Either that or a clear soda of some sort. And then this is very appropriate. It's a deployable little flag buoy with the proper sign to represent a diver down, so you can put that out and you can just detach it from the base if you want to store it inside the boat. Here's one of the figures. She's got the medium azure colored accents on the wetsuit there, and a lime green colored traditional styled Lego camera, and she is fully set up for scuba diving. Let me take some of this stuff off. So they give us a nice print on the back there as well, even though much of the time that's going to be covered up with air tanks, but it doesn't always have to be, because you're not always going to be diving when you're out on a diving expedition. So they thought about that, and they included the torso print on the back, and they included a hairpiece with a hat. Excellent. I really like it when they do this. This is not the first time they've done it this year. And look at this. That's me under there. Hey, I get to go scuba diving this season. Right on. Not my first time in the Lego world. Never done it in real life. Maybe I will someday. Same sort of deal here with the overall setup. Got a larger camera unit here. It's a little bit outdated, a little bit large, but maybe a lot of that is just housing, waterproof housing. Or you could use it as a big light if you want, or for doing some sort of searching activities. I feel like this torso print on the back is better than on the other figure. It's just a little bit better defined with the green there, especially the dark green. Maybe you don't see it all that well in this light, but it's there. It helps with some depth, but the torso print on the front is not as detailed. However, here we again get a second headgear piece. And wait a minute, what am I wearing, a wig there or something? I'm not blonde. What is this? What are they thinking? You got me all wrong. This is inaccurate. Actually, strictly speaking, LEGO does refer to hair pieces as wigs, so technically that figure was wearing a wig. These are the spares for this set, and you get some nice stuff, a lot more than from the first set that I showed you, including a couple of prints, and that is an extra piece of watermelon, so you get 2 officially in the set. I mean, that's not really official, but I mean, everybody should get all of these, and that's a hollow stud there. Alright, so let's wrap this up. We learned today that in the Dockside Fire set, you want to mount the water cannon farther forward than they show on the box and in the instructions, and it'll work much better. As far as value is concerned here, I don't see $20 worth, to be honest. The most I would give this is $15. Look for this. If you want this, look for it at $15, I would say, because $20, ignore the price to part ratio. That's a really skewed thing here, because so much of this is that big unitary hull. Those always cost more. They cost more to produce, and they always charge a lot more than the 10-cent price to part ratio that we like to see. But still, even ignoring that, just based on the amount of stuff here and the fact that there's really not a lot of detail, $20 is not a good price for this, in my opinion. And they really should have included a little turntable to allow you to rotate that water cannon around for the sake of play. This set is much better, as expected. It looks pretty good. The boat is still not super detailed, but I think it does its job. It works out pretty well. And look at this. This is another $20 set. It's sold for the exact same price, and it should not be. This is so much larger. They give you so much more. The expensive unitary boat hull is so much bigger. You get the extra accessories. They have the sawfish, and medium to large animals always cost more than regular pieces. So yeah, you get so much more with this. And here, I'm comfortable with the $20 price point based on the volume of stuff. If I imagine that this was a vehicle and it was that same size, then it would make sense to me. Vehicle would have more parts and would have more detail, but it wouldn't have that big hull piece. So I think that this works out just fine, and it's a well-designed set that gives you a lot of opportunities, and I think that it will appeal to kids of all ages, truly all ages. That's it for this review of 2 sets, though. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you again soon, and if you want to see the builds for both of these, I built both of them in one video as well. I'll link to that right now.